Hey everyone, in this lab we'll be seeing how to draw a floor plan like this. There's several different more tools and kind of methods that we'll learn in AutoCAD that will be useful for you as you draw more things than floor plans. We'll learn about layers and we'll also learn about blocks. Those are the two main things we'll look at in here. Also annotations. How do we add in these text and these dimensions here. Okay, so this is the final thing that you'll be creating. I talked about this a little bit in class, but let me say it again about how we have different layers. Okay, so here's the layers portion of the ribbon up here, and if you just go to a blank drawing, this is what you normally have. You only have these layers here. You don't see lots of other layers. Well, we have the freedom to define other layers. The purpose of layers is to keep a drawing organized and where it's easy to edit. So in this drawing, I've defined many other layers. So there's a layer for dimension, for doors, furniture, the hatching. You can see all of these. Okay, now let's just kind of show you what the layers do. There's two main buttons that you will be using. This on or off, that's a light bulb there, or this lock right here to lock or unlock a layer. You will need to use these two very often. So watch, if I turn this off, this says the current layer will be turned off. What do you want to do? That's fine. I want to turn it off. Okay. So look, now you don't see any of those dimensions that I have because that is in another layer. Okay, well, the doors here, I can turn the doors off. And now you see all the doors went away. If I turn the furniture off, all these blue furnitures here, well, they will disappear as well. Okay, so that means now I can't edit it. It doesn't mean I've deleted it. I can just go turn them back on to where I can see it. Okay, so this is very helpful if I want to make some drawing maybe over the top of this, but I don't want to edit the furniture. If I turn that layer off, then I can draw over the top of it very easily. Right, so here I have furniture, hatching. Here's the text notes. That's these yellow notes here. If I turn those off, you can see that's gone. Windows. Okay, so here is just the walls. So I draw those lines with using the wall layer. Then I've gone and maybe I've added hatching. I can turn that on. Well, then there's the windows. So you can see turning these layers on or off. Okay, the other thing that you'll need to be familiar with is this lock command. What the lock does is it still leaves it visible, but it says that layer cannot be edited. Okay, so if I lock the furniture layer, now I don't know if you noticed, but the color changed just a little bit. Now if I try to select that and delete it, I cannot delete because it's locked, right? Well, if I tried to delete this one, I can delete that because that layer was not locked, right? So let's say if I want to lock the text notes here, okay? I still see these text notes, but now if I select it and try to delete it, you can't delete it. But the good thing is if I wanted to draw something else, well, I can still use those, let's say the furniture as a reference point to make something in the drawing. All right, so those are the two main things that you'll need to use when you're working with layers. Okay. Okay, so let's get started now. You want to create a new drawing, so let's go to New, and let's make it from the metric Carroll template here. Again, this template is on Moodle. I've shown you earlier in the lecture how to make it a template. Okay. So double click on this, and one of the first things we're going to want to do is change the drawing units to meters. Right now this template is using millimeters. Let's change it to meters. So we can do that by typing DWGU, press enter, and then you see this number 3, that tells me right now I'm in millimeters. I want to change to meters, so let's enter the number 6. That's for meters. Press enter, and then continue to press enter several times until you get to the end of the command here. Okay, so now I'm at the end of the command. There's nothing else here in the command line. Okay, press escape. You can verify that you are in fact in units by typing DWGU. And now look, so meters here is number 6, and you see that 6 tells you which units you're in. You're in meters. Okay, so press escape there. Very good. Okay, we're going to do this step by step. First, I want to go through and let's just simply create all the layers that I have here. Okay? Okay, so here's the drawing I've created. The first thing we need to do, guys, make sure you save this. Okay, I'm going to go save it. Let's say it as demo part 1. You can name it whatever you would like, but make sure you save it so you can save often. All right, first thing I will do to save that, I've changed my drawing units already. Okay. All right, so let's go make the layers. If I just click on layer properties here, all right, and now I want to add some layers. I can click on this button here to create a new layer. So let's create that, and let's call one for the walls. So I'll type walls, press enter, and I'm going to leave the color as white. We can change the line type, we can change the line weight here. Let's leave the weight the same, so the walls will be white. Okay, let's make another one. Let's call this for the dimensions. Now I want to make the dimensions, let's make that this green color here. Okay, so now the dimensions are green, and we'll continue making these. I'll make one for the doors, and let's make the door this magenta color. Let's make another one for the furniture, and I'll make the furniture this blue color. Let's also make the hatching, that will be what it fills in the walls. We'll make it a gray here. Okay. I'll make one for different text notes. Let's make that yellow. And then I also want to make one for windows. Let's make that, let's make it an orange color. Okay, so I've created all my layers. So I will close this layer manager here. And now the first thing I want to do is let's just go through and we'll do part by part and draw. I'm going to first start out and just get all the walls here. Okay, so we can see that the thickness of the exterior walls is 30 centimeters, the interior wall thickness is 20. So I would recommend pausing the video at this point and trying to draw this before I do it. Right now you know all the tools that you need to use in order to draw this part without doing the annotations. Let's just draw the walls. Okay, so now I'll go through and draw the walls, but this should be something that you know how to do already. Alright, I want to make sure first you need to make sure that the wall layer, that's the layer that you're in. So the wall layer is my active layer now. So whatever I draw, that will be in the wall layer right now. Okay, so let's just use polyline, and the bottom width is 15. Press enter. Oh, that looks really small, right? That's okay. Let's press escape. Let's just zoom in. You can also type in Z here for zoom and just do like this, and it will zoom into that place. So now there's that line that is a length 15 meters. Okay, so here, let me just start over so you see what I did there. Let's say if I zoomed really far out, I started to draw a line, I clicked, I come over, and let's make this 15 and press enter, and I look and say, oh, that's really small. Look, there's the line. If you type Z, press enter, and now click and let go, and then click again, it will zoom into that box that you've made. All right, and now I can scroll in and out. Okay, so that line's 15. Let's continue with the polyline. I'm going to come up a distance of 10, come over a distance of 15, and then let's connect it to the endpoint. Make sure that endpoint object snap comes up there. All right. Now notice, since this line I drew is different than these other lines here, I want to join all this before I offset it. So let's make sure to join, so I can type in the command join, hit enter, select everything I want to join, and press enter, and now all of this is 1. Okay. Now the exterior wall thickness is 30 centimeters, so I want to offset here. So there's the offset command, and let's specify a distance. Let's do 0.3. Remember, I'm in meters, so 0.3 is the same as 30 centimeters. Press enter, and now select that, move in, and click one time, and there is the offset of the walls. Okay. Now we want to go through and draw each of these rooms. Now, again, students, I recommend that you press pause in the video right now. You stop watching and you try to do everything that I've done so far, and then you try to go ahead and draw all of these walls without the dimensions. You don't need to write those, but make sure you draw these walls. Okay, so I think you know how to do that, so go ahead and do it yourself. So press pause now and try to do it yourself. Okay, now I'll go through and do it. There's several right ways to do this. Let's say I want to start a wall that is 6 meters from this edge. So I put my cursor over here, move it. Let's type in 6, enter, and that makes the starting point 6 meters from that point there. And now I want to go a distance of 4.6, and I want to move over until it snaps perpendicular. If you don't have that perpendicular constraint popping up, you need to go turn it on over here. Okay, turn that on. Look, if I don't have that on, look what happens. You see the midpoint is very close to the perpendicular, but the midpoint is not where I want to snap to. Okay, so don't snap to the midpoint. Make sure you have the perpendicular object snap on, and you want to snap perpendicular. Very good. Okay. Now I can offset this. The interior walls are a thickness of 20 centimeters, so 0.2, enter. Let's offset this outside now. There we go. So there's one room there. I can continue one of the lines all the way over till it connects there. Again, I can do a line. Let's start here. I want this other wall to be 5.4 meters from that edge and go all the way to where it says perpendicular there. Okay. Now, I can do more offsets, okay, to make the interior wall thicknesses. So here the thickness is 20 centimeters already. Press enter, and now let's offset this way, 20. This one, let's go inside like that. Okay, So now I'm getting the walls. I need a line here. So let's go to line. I want that to be a distance of 1.4 from this end point. So type in 1.4. That makes a starting line 1.4 meters from that end point. Let's connect it here. And now offset 20 centimeters again. Press enter. And let's offset it this way here. All right. Now I need to make this other room over here. I want to start here, and the width of this room is 3.5. Enter. So that just tells me where to start the line. Then I want to make sure it's perpendicular here. And then finally, let's offset. Again, a distance of 20 centimeters. Press enter and offset this inside like that. Okay. So now at this point, all I need to do is go through and trim some of these areas here where the hatching will be. I want to get rid of all these interior, of all these lines here. Okay. So let's use the trim command. Type in trim. Now if you don't like to type, you can come up here and press trim. Same thing. Okay. So there's trim. After you start the trim command, press enter. And now scroll in and just click what I want to trim. I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of this. Let's do this, that, and that. This as well. All right, there we have it, guys. So press escape to get out of the trim command. This is where you should be at the end of part 1. All right. Hope you've caught all those points. We'll move on to part 2 in the next video.